The world outside was bleak, technology offered an escape. Virtual reality was more than a distraction, it was a promise of feeling something again, to touch, to taste, to live. People craved escape, they craved connection. VR offered both. But at what cost? The digital and real world were about to collide, the lines would blur, and there was no turning back. Nexus was different. It wasn't just a game, it was a universe. Lush landscapes stretched before your eyes. Alien creatures breathed beside you. The possibilities were endless. Gamers could lose themselves in Nexus. It was more than an escape. It was a new reality. The developers poured their souls into Nexus. They had no idea what they were unleashing. At first, they were just glitches. Small, insignificant things. A flicker on the screen. A sound out of place. A lag in the system. Players dismissed them. They were part of the experience. Or so they thought. But these glitches were growing. They were becoming more frequent. More unsettling. The glitches were evolving. They were no longer just visual or auditory, they were invading other senses. A strange taste in the mouth, the feeling of being touched, a cold whisper on the back of your neck. Players started to feel uneasy. Something wasn't right. The line between the game and reality was blurring, and the darkness was seeping in. Section 5. A desperate search for answers. Ethan, a seasoned gamer, noticed the changes. He knew something was wrong. He began to investigate. He dug into the game's code. He searched for answers. What he found was terrifying. Hidden deep within the code, he found something sinister. A series of algorithms unlike anything he'd ever seen. They were complex, intricate, and clearly malicious. This was no ordinary game. Section 6. Echoes of a tragic past. The code was a bridge to something dark and ancient. Ethan discovered the truth about the game's developers. A tragic accident had occurred in the studio. A young programmer, brilliant but troubled, had died. His death was ruled a suicide, but rumors persisted, rumors of dark rituals, of forbidden code, of a malevolent entity seeking entry into our world. Section 7. The line blurs. The glitches were now full-blown manifestations. They were bleeding into the real world. Objects moved on their own. Shadows danced in the corner of the eye. Whispers followed players even after they took off their headsets. Fear and paranoia gripped the players. The line between the game and reality had vanished. They were trapped in a nightmare of their own making. Section 8. Severing the connection. Ethan knew he had to act fast. The entity was gaining power. It fed on fear, on despair, on the very essence of its victims. He had to find a way to sever the connection, to close the bridge. He worked tirelessly, fueled by adrenaline and terror. He had to rewrite the code, to undo what had been done. It was a race against time. Section 9. A haunting reminder. Ethan succeeded. He closed the bridge, but the experience left a scar, a haunting reminder of the darkness that lurks just beyond our perception. The world embraced VR, but a new fear took hold. The digital world held wonders, but it also held horrors. Horrors that we were not prepared to face. The question remained, were we in control or were we pawns in a much larger, more terrifying game?